Good morning, boys and girls. Once again, welcome to A01 Transactions Essential English Language Skills. We are going to begin a new module, the second module of A01. The title of this module is Vocabulary. Vocabulary, as the word is familiar to you, is nothing but words. For a good communicator, knowledge of words is very essential. I will tell you a few reasons why word power is essential for a good communicator. Anyone who speaks to you, you will be able to understand him or her only if you understand the meaning and the context of the words used by them. When you read something, you will be able to understand the content only if you know or if you are familiar with the words used in it. So, as a student who aspires to be a good communicator in English, one who wants to develop the 4 basic skills of the language, it is essential that you have a good knowledge of a number of words at your command. You and me, as our language first language is Malayalam, normally we think in Malayalam, and when speaking English, an automatic translation is going on from Malayalam to English. During this process of translation, which happens automatically, as I told you, command over a good number of words is very essential in order to express yourself well. Well, I told you vocabulary means nothing but words. You will be able to read and understand better. You will be able to understand what others speak better only if you have a good command over the language by knowing a good number of words. Vocabulary is nothing but words. Now, language expert Wilkins, he says that without grammar, very little can be conveyed. Without grammar, very little can be conveyed. Of course, you can convey. Say, for example, if you remember what I told you when we were talking about accuracy of the language, I told you accuracy means accuracy in pronunciation, which we have already seen. It also means accuracy in grammar, which includes when I say a sentence like, name my Francis is, you will correct me and say, sir, what you said is grammatically wrong, and you will correct me as, my name is Francis. This is basic grammar. This is basic grammar. Now, without grammar, very little can be conveyed. But without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. It is very true. It's very true. You must have experienced in your life when you are beginning to speak in English, you find it very difficult to convey something which you know already, but you don't get the exact word for the exact idea which you have in mind. This is a problem. This must have been a problem which you must have faced when you started speaking English. So, a knowledge of a good number of words is essential for an English language learner. It was the opinion of another language expert, Lewis, who said, Lexis is the core or heart of language. Lexis means words. Lexis is the core or heart of language. Lexis may be a new word to you. It is from this word that the word lexicon has emerged. Lexicon means dictionary. Dictionary. Lexicon. So, in the opinion of the language expert Lewis, Lexis is the core or heart of language. So, from these two quotations, perhaps you may be able to understand how important this vocabulary is as far as an English learner is concerned. Students need to develop fluency and expression in English. I told you, one of the requirements of a good communicator, fluency of the language. You remember? I think one of the earlier sessions of the previous module, we were talking about 3 requirements for an effective communicator: fluency, accuracy, and appropriacy. Fluency and expression in English is something to be developed by all learners of English. For this, they have to acquire a knowledge of more and more productive vocabulary items. Productive in the sense, words that will be of use in your everyday language, everyday transactions. That is why it is important, I told you, to deal with vocabulary as an essential element for a learner of English, and that is why it is included as one of the modules for A01. How to acquire? Now, many of you may think that, yeah, I want to acquire a good vocabulary. How to do that? Maybe a question which surprises you without an answer. Now, there are different ways of acquiring vocabulary. One is by listening to the language, which you are doing right now. You are listening to me and you are trying to comprehend the meaning from the context of almost all the words which I speak to you, because I make it a point to speak to you in a very simple language. By listening to the language, you acquire vocabulary. Number 2, as I have told you earlier, reading the language. reading the language also helps you to get in touch with a number of words. But for this, you have to do some homework. What's that? Whenever you read something, whenever you listen to somebody speaking English, when you come across a word or a phrase which is unfamiliar to you, many of those words and phrases or idioms, you can guess the meaning from the context. But if you are not able to guess the meaning of the word from the context, it is very essential for a learner like you to consult a good standard dictionary which will give you the meaning of that particular word or phrase, which later you will be able to use it in your everyday conversation. First, listen to the language. Second, read the language. And the third one, refer to a standard dictionary, which you can do in the present scenario by touching your fingers, because almost all smartphones do have a version of the dictionary. So you can do that. Listen to the language, read the language, and then make it a habit to consult a dictionary as and when it is necessary. There are three significant aspects of teaching vocabulary. Three significant aspects of teaching vocabulary. One is the form of the word. The form of the word. Second is the meaning of the word. And third is the use of the word. Let me try to explain these three terms with respect to the three significant aspects of teaching vocabulary. One, form is the kind of formation of the word. The kind of formation of the word. I told you just now the example of Lexis. Lexis means words. And the word lexicon is actually formed from the word Lexis, lexicon. That is the form. Number two, meaning. Very simple. In different contexts, different words mean differently. Say, I can give you some examples. A word like TEAR. TEAR is a word which means two things in different contexts. Of course, the pronunciation is different, but the same spelling. When you read it well, you guess the meaning from the context. Say, for example, TEAR, tear means what comes out of your eyes. Tears. TEARS. Okay. The same spelling, TEAR, which is pronounced as tear, means something different. So the meaning has to be understood about a particular word. Most commonly, you can guess the meaning of the word from the context in which it is used. Now, the third significant aspects of teaching vocabulary is the use. In which context the word is used. Same word can be used in different contexts which changes the meaning according to the use you make use of it. That is the use. So please remember these three significant aspects of vocabulary, namely form, meaning, and use. Now this whole module, vocabulary, module 2, vocabulary, is divided on the basis of focus. In 5 frames, 5 different frames. Today we will take up only the first frame. Now, in 5 frames, we will focus on meanings of select words, idioms, how they are used, and how they combine with one another. All these aspects are dealt with in 5 different frames under vocabulary. Now, the first frame which we are going to deal with today is frame 1. What is this frame 1? It is about words, how they are understood and how they are used in our everyday transaction or everyday spoken language. For convenience, I have selected 10 vocabulary items for you to analyze today. Now, let us go through them quickly. I am sure most of these items or vocabulary items are familiar. Are familiar to you, but we will try to focus how they are used. Following are some verbs. All these are verbs, 10 items, 10 vocabulary items, which are all verbs, and try to understand their meaning. Let us take up one by one. First one is the verb adapt. A-D-A-P-T. Adapt. Now, the best example would be a very day-to-day example would be when you use a electrical gadget, you use an adapter. This word comes from that, adapt. The meaning of the word adapt is to modify or alter. Modify or alter. Say, for example, in a sentence like, some vehicles to be used by physically challenged people, challenged students or gentlemen, some vehicles, say for example a scooter or a car, to be used by a physically challenged person, we need to adapt the car. We need to adapt the car in such a way that the physically disabled or physically challenged people can use it. So that is the use and the meaning of the word adapt. A-D-A-P-T. The first one there. Adapt. Second word is alter. Alter. O-A-L-T-E-R. Alter as a verb means, what is the meaning? Alter. When your trousers or your dress get loose or tight, you go to an alteration tailor. Alteration tailor, one who does alteration for you so that the dress will suit you. Alter means change. For example, in a sentence like, if the trousers are too tight, take them back to the shop and ask the tailor to alter them. Alter them, change them, make necessary changes. Alter. The third word is dissolve. When you think of a chemistry lab, dissolve means something. But dissolve as a verb means, what is the meaning? Dissolve, to stop functioning. When the business was not running profitably, the owner or the proprietor decided to dissolve the business. The company, when it was not going on profit, the management of the company decided to dissolve the company. That is the third word. Dissolve means to stop functioning. The fourth word is exchange. Very easy word. Exchange. As the word suggests, you give something and take back something. You give something, you take back something, is exchange. When you go on a tour, say to the US, you need to exchange your rupee to dollars, because dollar is the currency that is in circulation in the US, whereas the currency in circulation in India is Indian rupee. The other one is the US dollar. So you exchange your Indian rupee to American or US dollar. Exchange means give something and take something back in its place. Fifth one is expand. Now, expand, as the word suggests, is increase, make large, expand. An example is expand. Say, for example, it will help your digestion. Yeah, we have to expand our sales force. Sales force means salesmen and women. We have to expand our sales force to cope with the extra demand. We have to expand our sales force in order to face the demand. Expand means, as I told you, make it increase or make large. Next one is an easy word. The word is increase. You know the word increase. Now, increase means add to something. Increase, add to something. For example, in a word like the price of oil will increase next year. The price of oil, because of the very grave situation that the world is facing because of coronavirus 19 pandemic, there is every chance that the price of oil will increase next year or after this. Even now it has already started. So increase means add. Next word is vary. V-A-R-Y. Vary. Vary means differ. No, vary, differ. A best example would be in a sentence like, you can't vary the items of the contract once it has been signed. Now you come into an MOU or you come into a contract with somebody, an agreement with somebody, and after signing the document, you are not supposed to vary. Vary means differ from the conditions which you have agreed upon. Some conditions are put up in an agreement, a mutual agreement and a contract. Now, once you sign the contract, you are not supposed to vary, come away, differ from what you have agreed on. Next word is adjust. Very, very common word which we all use in our everyday language. That is adjust. Make something fit for something. See, very, very easy word. Make something fit for something. That is called adjust. The example would be, it will help your digestion if you adjust your diet. If you adjust your diet, it will help you to adjust. If you adjust your diet, you will be able to get better digestion. So that is the meaning of the word adjust, a very common word. Ninth word is switch. Switch, when I say, suddenly what comes to your mind is the switch you use, the electric switch to on the fan, to on the light. But we are talking about switch as a verb. To switch means to change from one to another. Switch means change from one thing to other. The best example would be in a sentence like, our bills will be less if we switch to cooking gas from electricity. Our electricity bill will come down. That is the meaning. So, if our bills will be less if we switch from electricity to cooking gas. Last, 10th one is transform. Transform. The meaning of the word is change from one condition to another. Transform. Change from one condition to another is called transform. The best example would be, he decided to transform his appearance by having plastic surgery. Now, you must have heard that some actors, while preparing, film actors, while preparing for the shoot of a particular film, some of them need to transform themselves, maybe putting down weight, maybe making some changes on the face, growing hair, maybe growing beard, all these are called transform. Transform means change from one condition to another. So I have given you 10 vocabulary items for your consideration, to know what is the form, use, and lastly their acquire the knowledge dictionary and accept them. Form, meaning, and use. Form, meaning, and use of these 10 vocabulary items, which will enable you as a sample to know more about vocabulary items. So frame 1, we come to an end of frame 1, which deals with words or vocabulary items, trying to know their form, meaning, and use. Next time we meet, we will go to the second frame. That is, the second frame of vocabulary is about synonyms. Till we meet for the next session, I say goodbye to you. Thank you for listening to me.